Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we'll be focusing on creating a donut chart in Tableau. My name is Talha Parkar and we'll be working on Tableau today. So as you can see on the screen, we have a donut chart. I have an image of a donut chart. It is basically a hollowed out pie chart, and it can be used to show a percentage of the total. So for example, in this particular image, the total sales is 30 million for 4,000 something, for 30,434,000, and along with that you have the different categories or subcategories that contribute to the total sales. So let's go to Tableau and let's work with our data set. So this is the data set that I'll be working with. We've got our order date, ship mode, customer ID, segment, but we'll be focusing on the category mostly and the subcategory if time permits. So let's do that. Let's come here and let's first create a sales goal, because like I said, a donut chart will enable us to compare or show a percent of the total, highlight that particular percentage achieved out of 100%. So we need a sales goal for that if we're looking at sales, or if we're looking at profits, we need a profit goal for that. So let's create a parameter. Let's call it sales goal, and let's make that 1,000,000. Let's keep it the data type as okay, let's keep that as a float and press OK. So now you have a sales goal. But now one more thing that you need is you need to know how much sales are remaining. What is the amount of sales that is left for you to achieve? So to do that, you'll again create a calculated field and you'll name that field as sales remaining. Click OK. Oh, I didn't add anything, sorry. Yeah, so that'll be the sales goal minus sum of sales. Press OK, and we'll create another calculated field and we'll call this percent of sales, and over here we'll have our sum of sales divided by the sales goal. So we'll get that percentage as well. So we have that. Let's just format that. Let's change the properties, go to the number format, let's make it a percentage, and let's bring it down to 1 decimal point. That's great. So now that we've created all the required fields, let's get started. So firstly, in the marks card, we'll come and change this automatic type to a pie, and then I'll drag my sales to my rows and I'll drag my sales remaining to the axis over here. Then what I'll do is I'll drag my measure names to the color and my measure values to my angle. Let's fit this to an entire view, and let's add my category to my columns. So now I have sales with 3 different categories. The total sales goal was 1,000,000, and you can see that the sales remaining and the sales achieved, sales remaining, sales achieved, and again here you can see sales remaining and sales achieved. Now this is a pie chart, and now we need a donut chart. So how do you do that? So for that I will have to create a dual axis, but for that I need something in my rows. So basically, to create a dual axis, what you need to do is, so for example, let's say I have my sales in here and I have my category in here, and if I need to create a dual axis, I need 2 charts basically. So I'll have to press Control, click on sales and drag it. I'll get 2 charts like this, but I need something in my row. So for that recently I learned on YouTube. I was watching a video by Super Data Science. So they showed that this particular method works. So this is a small trick that you can use. So you have to go and create a calculated field. Just name this field 1, and within that also just 1, and press OK. And now when you drag that, just press right click and then drag it to rows, so that you get the option of selecting what field do I want to drop. So let's make that a minimum and press OK, and then click on it by pressing Control and then drag it to the right, and then come. So now you have a dual axis chart like here, as you can see with the bar charts. Okay, so now what do, you can see I have a min 1 and I have a min 1 bracket 2. So this is the second chart. So you come here in the second chart, you remove the measure names and you remove the measure values. Just drag them out. Just drag them. That's great. Change this from a pie to a circle. Change the color to white. That's great. And I have taken it out from the min 1 second, not from the first. So as you can see, in the first one you have the appropriate values right there. Now you come back to your rows and right click on this particular mark field and click on dual axis, and then open this drop down, come to size and decrease the size. That looks great. That looks great. So this is how a donut chart is looking. And actually, if you want to increase the size, you can do that. You come to your min 1, increase the size of the visuals, do that, and come back to min 2 and reduce the size, or increase the size, so that you get an appropriate donut chart. And what I'm going to do is, I will just a second. Yeah, better. I will take out this header. You don't need to see these headers, so just take them out. Just take this out as well. Take these out as well. I'll just show you in a second why I'm doing that. And now then press Ctrl and drag your category to your label. Oh, okay, 1 second. Make sure that you're in the appropriate mark card. So I dragged it in all. That's why you were seeing two: one for the circle, the transparent circle, and one for the donut chart. You come to min 1. My bad. Press Ctrl and drag category to labels. So you see the 3 different categories. Go to label. You have a couple of formatting options available here. You can bump up the size to, let's say, 15. You could set the positioning, keep it at center, keep it at the top. You could do that as well. That's perfect. Now you come down to min 2, and now you want to see the percentage, right? So you've created a percent of sales. So you click that, drag it on labels, click on labels, click on size. You can bump up the size to, let's say, 14. You could go to automatic, keep it at center, keep it this way at the center, and here you have it. Here you have a donut chart right in front of you. It's a bit of a complicated process, but once you practice it, you'll get the hang of it. You just need to know the exact steps. And if you see, if I show this parameter that we had created for the sales goal, if you bump it down, or if you make it, let's say you make it 2 million, and you refresh, you hit refresh. So okay, so that doesn't work. I don't know why. So let's keep that 1 million. So let's keep that as 1 million only. So this is how you create a donut chart, and like I showed you, you need to follow these steps and these some calculated measures and calculated fields that you need to create. We also created a parameter for sales goal, but if you're working in an organization and you have a sales data, you should actually have that particular goal or target within that particular data. Here I did not have that, and just for the purpose of this example, I created a separate parameter called sales goals. Hence you can see that none of these categories have been able to achieve the sales goal. They have not been able to touch the sales goals. One more small formatting that you can do is go to Tooltip, and here we don't want to see anything because we don't want the transparent circle to represent anything. That's just a way to hide the pie. And we come back to min 1 and we go to Tooltip, and over here we don't want to see this min 1. So let's just take that out and press OK. And let's go to the entire view, and this is how our donut chart looks. I hope you learned something new. Stay tuned for more content. In the next video, I will show an alternative to this donut chart, because there are some limitations to this particular chart. For example, if I bump up the sales from 1 million to, let's say, if I bring them down, okay, so if I make it 250, okay, I don't know why that's not happening. So this is how you create a donut chart in Tableau, and this is how this particular visual is created with certain steps that are required to be followed. And as you can see that this parameter that I have created, so there is a one limitation to this particular chart. So for example, the sales achieved by technology is 836154. So what I can do is, if I make this as 836154 and I press enter, 836154, and I press enter, see that this has achieved 100% capacity because the sales goal has to come down. But if I were to make this, let's say 8 lakh, and I press enter, so what this does is this goes around one time. Okay, so similarly, if I was to bring this down to 7, I press enter, so here it shows you 119% because it's going around one time and then a 19% on top of that. Here it goes around one time and then a 2% on top of that, and similarly over here it goes around one time and then a 6% on top of that. So this is a limitation that this particular visual has, and to tackle this limitation, all you can do is you could create a bullet graph that is already inbuilt in Tableau over here. How do you do that? You take your sales and you take your sales goal, that's it. Press Ctrl and select both of these, go to bullet graph, change that to bullet graph. Okay, drag your category across the rows, fit this to entire view, right click and swap reference line fields, and as you can see over here, all the three categories have achieved the goals because I have brought down the sales goal. So if I was to show the parameter, okay, and if this was the parameter like the previous one, the 1 million parameter, over here you can easily see that this was the sales goal to be achieved. This was the 60% of the sales goal, this was the 80% of the sales goal. So compared to that, compared to donut chart, you can also work with bullet graphs as well if you like this particular visual. But in terms of showing KPIs as like this, if you have certain preset targets, then the donut would do. Otherwise, if you have changing alternative targets, then a bullet graph can work as well, because as you can see that even if I bring this down to the exact sales of the third category, it immediately changes. So you don't have that problem of overlapping in this bullet graph as you have with the donut chart. Thank you for watching the entire video. I hope you learned something new. Stay tuned for more content on Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, Excel and PowerPoint. Thank you.